But for the moment, let's turn to Hugh Hewitt, an NBC News and MSNBC political analyst, host of The Hugh Hewitt Show on the Salem Radio Network, and also Bloomberg's Mark Halperin, co-host of With All Due Respect on this network. Gentlemen, nice to see you.
Thank you.
I can't believe what we're talking about on day two, after night one, Hugh, of this convention. Does it pain you that we're sitting here talking about what seem to be mistakes, divisions, negative, there's a negative tone in the daylight now after last night?
Well, I have 3 points. First, I thought it was a great night, probably the best hour of the Trump campaign, to go from Tom Cotton to Rudy Giuliani to Mrs. Trump. Number two, I'm shocked that there's imperfect and bad ghostwriting going on. I was a ghostwriter myself for a long time. Well, there's a bad ghostwriting. But number three...
Imperfect is one thing, but we said at the top of the show, 1 in a trillion chance that was not plagiarized.
But here's the thing I think Democrats have to worry about. They are setting it up for the easy pivot to go from partial plagiarism to perfect perjury. We use all the P's between a potential first lady to the potential president. So when we talk about plagiarism, it's very easy to go to perjury. And as Director Comey laid down the predicate for perjury, talking about Mrs. Clinton in 6 ways, I like to make that pivot very easily.
Mark, does someone in the campaign, I don't want to make too much of it, but if it is plagiarism, does somebody need to take the fall? And are we going to see that before 5:30?
I think they need to get the press off of this. They can do that by firing someone if they find someone worthy of firing or scapegoat. They can do it by creating some news, by having a great night. I think there isn't excessive focus on this. Those are the rules of the game. This is a potential First Lady of the United States whose speech was clearly not done correctly, whosever fault it was. But this is an opportunity for them to show some competence. There's no doubt that this has exposed and exacerbated some internal conflicts within the campaign.
Well, that's what I was going to ask. I mean, really, it's not just about plagiarism, Hugh. You would probably even acknowledge this. This points to some potential problems within the structure of the Trump campaign.
Oh, the ghostwriting staff. Look, there's a ghostwriting team, as Mark will tell you. There's a ghostwriting team on every campaign, especially for first ladies and would-be first ladies. Somebody screwed up, because even if it is completely innocent, you run it through the plagiarism checker yourself.
Well,
right, Mark?
I mean, you check it yourself. RNC also check before putting it in the teleprompter here? I mean, there's many layers. I asked Lanny Chen today, who was the man who loaded Mitt Romney's teleprompter. Yeah. He checks it. It's up to the campaign, not the RNC. To fact check.
To fact check.
That was not a normal speech. That's an historic speech. If Donald Trump wins, that's an historic speech he gave. He can't be that careless with it. But as big a deal as it is today, they need to fix it somehow by prime time tonight. Because if they don't, if tonight is about continuing to chew over this, half their convention will be talking about this. They can't afford
and
that.
And tonight, for viewers who aren't keeping track, we've got Tiffany Trump, the youngest daughter, and then we've got Donald Trump Jr. tonight as well.
And Chris Christie.
And a number of luminaries from the party as well.
I think the Trump children step up and defend Mrs. Trump very vigorously and say she did a wonderful job, as she did. She did a great performance.
And actually mention it?
Oh, yeah, you bring it up. Defend Mrs. Trump, because she did do a great performance, and most of America does not care about partial plagiarism, and I do suggest you pivot to the perjury of the First Lady before Benghazi.
His campaign ill-served his wife. Whatever the facts, sure. we know that to be true. He hasn't spoken out publicly yet, and I think until he does and tells us what he thinks about what happened, this story lingers, and that's not good for the campaign.
It's a lot of pressure on his 2 kids, isn't it? For tonight?
They've been under a lot of pressure for a long time, and they both performed awfully admirably.
She's done less publicly. Donald Trump Jr. has become, in a short period of time, an extraordinarily good public presenter.
Right.
Yes.
And there's a lot of pressure on him tonight. There would have been even before last night, but there's a ton tonight, and more because of what happened last night.
Hugh, another thing that caught my eye tonight, the governor of Arkansas is on tap, as is the Arkansas Attorney General right after him. I'm guessing that's not an accident. These are people who know the Clintons pretty well.
Yeah, and Tom Cotton, of course, senator from Arkansas, last night gave a terrific speech, and you have more Arkansas people. And of course, they're going after the Secretary of State on her record. Again, I go back to Comey and Benghazi, and they will go after the conviction without the indictment of last week, because they want to get it back off of Mrs. Trump to Mrs. Clinton. And I think you'll see a lot of that tonight. It's attack night.
I will say that Paul Manafort said at a Bloomberg breakfast yesterday, this election is not about Hillary Clinton. Somewhat surprising to me. So this is about Donald Trump. And so Hugh and others would like to see lots of attacks on her, and there will be. and there were last night. But in the main, and this is why last night was so damaging to their goals, they want to define Donald Trump on their terms over this convention.
And just quickly to both of you, will we have a unified party by Thursday night, given what Jacob Soboroff was just showing us with a few of the delegates?
It's a black swan election. It's never happened to Republicans before. I have no idea, but it felt that way when Mike Pence got nominated. It felt that way last night with Cotton and Giuliani, so I think it will end that way by Thursday
If
night.
they execute over the next 3 nights, it will be unified enough for that piece of it to be there for him to have a chance to win.
Mark Halperin, Hugh Hewitt, always great to see you guys.
Thank
Nice
you.
to have you in person.
Thank you,
Thanks
Katie.
so much.